Welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm taking a look at the Carpuride W703, a portable dashboard screen that brings wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto to almost any car in just a few minutes. Devices like this are becoming increasingly popular, especially if you've got an older car that doesn't have modern infotainment features. Instead of replacing your entire head unit, you can simply mount one of these on the dashboard and instantly get access to navigation, music, calls and messages through a large touchscreen. But the W703 goes a step further. Not only does it support wireless smartphone connectivity, but it also includes a built-in 4K dashcam, supports a 1080p rear camera and loop recording with a G sensor for incident protection. So the big question is, can the W703 really turn almost any car into something that feels a bit more modern? Just so you know, Carpuride sent me this device out for review, but as always, all opinions in this video are my own. If you do end up liking the look of it, I'll leave links in the description below so you can check out the latest prices. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Starting with the box, and inside you'll find the W703 itself, along with everything you need to get up and running. First up is the 7-inch touchscreen unit, which uses an IPS display with a resolution of 1024 by 600. That might not sound huge on paper, but for a screen of this size it's perfectly clear for navigation and apps. Also in the box is the 12-volt power adapter, which plugs straight into your car's cigarette lighter socket. This uses a USB-C connection to power the screen. You also get two different mounting options. The first is a dashboard mount with an adhesive pad, which gives you a very clean and discreet installation. The second is a suction cup mount, which can be attached to either the windscreen or dashboard. This option is a bit more adjustable and easy to remove if you need to. There's also an aux cable, which lets you connect the screen directly to your car stereo if you prefer wired audio. And importantly, the W703 includes two cameras. You've got the 4K front-facing dashcam, which is integrated into the device, and a 1080 rear camera, which can be installed at the back of the vehicle. Carpuride also includes a 64GB microSD card, so you can start recording straight away without having to buy additional storage. Finally, there's a user manual that walks you through installation and setup. Taking a closer look at the device itself, the design is quite clean and minimal. On the front you've got that 7-inch IPS touchscreen, which is bright and easy to read even in daylight. The display uses a sensor-based brightness system, meaning it can automatically adjust depending on the surrounding light. Around the edges you'll find the main ports and controls. These include USB-C for power, an aux output for wired audio, an SD card slot, and a rear camera input. On the back of the unit is the 4K front camera, which is actually quite versatile. The lens can be adjusted vertically and rotated up to 350 degrees, so you can aim it exactly where you want. That means you can record the road ahead like a traditional dashcam, but you could also rotate it to record inside the car, which might be useful if you're monitoring passengers or children in the back seat. There's also a built-in speaker and microphone, which allows the device to handle calls and voice commands directly if you're not using your car's speakers. Installing the W703 is very straightforward. Start by choosing where you want to mount the screen, either on the dashboard or the windscreen. Attach the mount, place the device into the bracket, and then plug in the USB-C power cable. Once connected to your vehicle's 12-volt socket, the screen will automatically power on when the ignition starts. If you want a cleaner setup, you can tuck the cable into the dashboard. This takes a little longer but makes the screen look so much more integrated. On this Peugeot 107, I had to pop off the air dial, undo one screw, and pop the dashboard around the radio off a little. That gave me enough room to see down to the floor. I then fed a spare USB cable down, tied the Carpuride USB-C to 12-volt cable around it and pulled it up. Once I had a few inches of cable visible, I could push the dashboard back into place and plug it into the screen. Installing the rear camera takes a little more effort since you'll need to run the cable to the back of the vehicle. Most people mount the camera either on the rear window or near the number plate outside the car. I'm installing it on the rear window, and this just uses the sticky pad, whereas if you were attaching it to the bumper, then the included screws would give a better though non-reversible hold. Once in place, make sure the wire has enough slack when the boot or trunk opens, and then it's a case of tucking the cable into the trim above and working it towards the front. If you run along the floor, then it's worth pulling the cable up through the dashboard at the same time as the 12-volt power cable. Once plugged into the screen, it will record footage to your microSD card, but if you connect the small red trigger wire to the reversing light, the screen will automatically switch to the rear camera when you put the car in reverse. I've already made a complete video on how to do this, so do check this out via the link in the top right corner or in the description below. Once powered on, the device boots fairly quickly and brings you to the main home screen. And if you're seeing any artifacts or lines in the video as we go through the apps and settings, it's purely my camera and not the screen display, which is very bright and sharp but quite difficult to do justice on film. From here you can access the key features of the W703 with apps in the centre and useful shortcuts along the bottom. The main attraction of course is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Both connect wirelessly, which is great because it means you don't need to plug your phone in every time you get in the car. Just pair your phone once through Bluetooth, and after that the screen will automatically reconnect whenever you start the vehicle. From there you'll get access to everything you'd expect. Navigation apps like Google Maps or Apple Maps, music and podcasts, hands-free calling, messages and notifications, and voice assistants like Siri or Google Assistant. Hey Siri, skip a track. Press the camera button, which takes you through to view the cameras, and you can swipe on the screen to switch between them. You get a really nice quality image through, and as you can hopefully tell by now, the screen is fast and responsive. Tap settings and you can adjust a number of things under the categories General, Camera, and System. If you have the device hardwired for constant power, then you'll get one extra setting under the camera category, Parking Mode, which will activate the camera if it detects an incident when you're away from the vehicle. If you like the idea of hardwiring but don't know where to start, fear not, because I've already made a complete how to hardwire a dashcam to your vehicle video, which you should see in the top right corner now, but it's also linked in the description below. If hardwiring definitely isn't for you, then I've just taken a dive into an alternative idea, powering via the OBD port. That video's linked in the same places too. One thing the W703 does particularly well is audio flexibility. There are several different ways to route sound from the device to your car speakers. The first option is Bluetooth, which allows the screen to connect directly to your car stereo system. You can also use the included aux cable for a wired connection if your car supports it. And if your car doesn't have either of those options, there's also FM transmission, which broadcasts audio to a radio frequency that your car stereo can pick up. Finally, the device has its own built-in speaker, which is basic but useful for navigation prompts or phone calls. So regardless of how old your car is, there's always a way to get the audio working. Another feature worth mentioning is wireless screen mirroring. If you have an iPhone, you can use AirPlay to mirror your phone's screen directly onto the display. Android users can do something similar using the Android Cast app on the screen, which requires you to download the TC-Link app onto your phone. This means that you can display things like videos, apps, or photos directly on the screen. It's not something you'd want to use while driving, of course, but it can be handy if you're parked or waiting in the car. Now let's talk about the dashcam functionality, because this is a big part of what makes the W703 interesting. The built-in front camera records in 4K resolution, while the rear camera records in 1080p Full HD. Both cameras capture detail well in daytime conditions, but as with most dash cams, struggle a little at night. Both cameras support loop recording, which means that once the memory card fills up, the oldest footage is automatically overwritten. The device also includes a G-sensor, which detects sudden impacts or collisions, and you can adjust its sensitivity in the settings. If an incident is detected, the current clip is automatically locked, preventing it from being overwritten so you can easily retrieve the footage later. The wide-angle lenses also help capture a broad view of the road, increasing the chances of recording important details. Now, considering everything included, the CarPlay screen, dual dash cams and mounting kit, the W703 is actually priced quite competitively. Prices vary depending on where you buy it, but it can be found for around £100 or $150. If you're interested in getting one for yourself, I've got affiliate links to the best prices in the description below, which help support this channel at no cost to you. So overall, the Carpuride W703 is a really interesting bit of kit. It's an easy way to bring modern smartphone connectivity to almost any vehicle without replacing your existing stereo, and its size makes it perfect for a smaller vehicle and keeps it discreet in a larger one. Setup is quick, the interface is simple to use, and features like wireless CarPlay, Android Auto and voice control make everyday driving much more convenient. The addition of dual cameras is also a big plus, turning it into more than just an infotainment screen. Is it going to completely replace a built-in factory infotainment system? Probably not, but if you've got an older car, the W703 is definitely worth considering. If you've enjoyed this video or found it helpful, a like really helps the channel out. And if you want to see more tech videos just like this, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.